at least they were competitive. Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video we are going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 9 40-34 loss. So guys, without further ado, let's talk about it. This is the fourth loss in a row by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very not fun, okay? I cannot say that enough, how not fun that is, okay? This one hurt a lot, much like the last three the Buccaneers have lost. It seems like every week they find a new way to lose, and I know that's been the big meme for Bucs fans for years now, is that, oh, the Buccaneers find ways to lose. Man, these last 4 weeks have hurt a lot, okay? They were just flat out beat by the New Orleans Saints. Too many turnovers versus Carolina. Then you have that game last week versus Tennessee where they literally just gave it away basically, and they had opportunities to win the game and they just couldn't do it. And now against the Seattle Seahawks, you lose in overtime. So, like, every week it was something different that just made the Buccaneers lose. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, I guess it is what it is. The Buccaneers are 2-6 right now, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And I know people were going to knock me for my 10-6 record, but I still stand by my original prediction of 10-6. I think things could have gone a lot differently this year due to a variety of factors. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know, sit here and say, oh, how dare I be, you know, optimistic at the beginning of a Buccaneers season. I still stand by my 10-6 record. I know, you know, it's 2-6 right now. Things aren't looking good. I'm not saying the Buccaneers are going 10-6 or anything, but you know, I definitely, you know, still stand by my original prediction of 10-6. So, you know, with that being said, let's start talking about some of the bad here. The first two players that I want to talk about are DeMar Dodson and Donovan Smith. Both these tackles today suffered, okay? DeMar Dodson, I've literally been putting him on the bad list week in and week out, and, you know, I keep on saying it every single week. I want to see him get better. I want to see him rebound. Guys, I don't think it's going to happen. You know, and I know that sounds pretty negative of me to say. I know I usually am pretty positive about certain things and really hoping for players to rebound, but DeMar Dodson, I just haven't seen much from him this year that has made me think, you know what, I think he's going to bounce back. I've been wanting him to bounce back, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Again today, he struggled with giving up pressure, and again today, he struggled with penalties. I really don't know what's going to happen with DeMar Dodson at the end of the year. It's either he is probably not going to be a Buccaneer anymore, either way, be it by retirement or just by him getting released. So whatever happens with him, I thank him for the years that he gave to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if this truly is the end at the end of this year. But man, this year's been a struggle for DeMar Dodson, and it's unfortunate to see. But in the case of Donovan Smith today, you know, I will say he did not play the absolute worst game I have ever seen Donovan Smith play. I have seen him play worse games before, but the big thing that knocked me on Donovan Smith was the fumble by Jameis Winston. And I know people are going to say, oh, James, that's one play. That was a pretty crucial fumble, and the way that Jameis Winston fumbled that ball, I know initially it looked like it just popped right out of his hand, but basically what had happened was a defensive lineman pushed Donovan Smith so far back into Jameis Winston's pocket that Donovan Smith's elbow ended up hitting Jameis Winston in his elbow, or maybe it was Donovan Smith's hand, something along those lines. The point is that Donovan Smith's arm hit Jameis Winston's elbow, and that caused the fumble to happen. So that was just an unfortunate play. You know, I know it's tough of me to knock a guy for one play, but I still think that Donovan Smith, he still struggled a little bit in this game. Whenever he signed that really big contract during this last offseason, I said that I was worried about Donovan Smith's consistency, and that's still the case so far this year. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully Donovan Smith can improve. He's at least going to be on the team for the next 2 years. So hopefully he improves. Hopefully he gets things going. And hopefully he can, you know, continue to grow as a left tackle because he's still relatively young. I believe he's 26 years old right now, maybe 27. But he still has some time to grow as a left tackle and improve. So, you know, rough game by both the tackles of the Buccaneers in this game. Next player I want to talk about is Jamel Dean. And I will say this, okay? Jamel Dean had some good plays today. I believe he had 4 pass deflections, which is awesome. We have not seen a Buccaneers member of the secondary do that at all this year. But I will also say that he also had his fair share of bad plays as well. Now, Jamel Dean actually did not know he was going to start this game until actually they came back in from pre-game warm-ups before the game started. That was whenever Jamel Dean was told, hey Jamel, you're going to be a starter for this game. So, fair credit to Jamel Dean. He went out there, he did his job to the best of his abilities. He is a rookie. That was pretty much his first game ever being a full-time starter. It is certainly the most he has played the entire year, but I will say that they targeted him a ton in this game. They didn't even target Vernon Hargreaves as much, which surprised me a lot. They just kept on going at Jamel Dean time and time again, and the rookie, it was definitely a trial by fire type of thing. I want to see Jamel Dean improve. I think that he had some good plays there to show some improvement, to show some growth, and I think that this is a very big learning experience from him. He's playing one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Russell Wilson, so, he does go on the bad list in this game, but I will say he did show some very, very encouraging things moving forward. Finally, the last group of guys I want to talk about on the bad list is the defensive line. And I'm not including Vita Vea in this, because I think Vita Vea had a really solid game. But Ndamukong Suh, Bo Allen, and William Golston. Now, shout out to Bo Allen. He did have half a sack in this game. That's awesome. But I will say that this defensive line struggled, not just in generating pressure. Russell Wilson had a pretty clean pocket throughout most of the game, but the run defense finally caved. And oh boy, they caved in a big, big way. Chris Carson had a really, really good game, and considering last game versus the Tennessee Titans when Derrick Henry popped off 76 yards in his own right, the rushing defense of the Buccaneers is starting to lose its steam. It had a really, really good start for the first, 6 weeks, give or take. Yeah, 6 weeks, they had a really, really good start, but now these last 2 weeks, they've lost a lot of steam. First, it was to Derrick Henry. We saw the cracks beginning to form, and then, the Watergate were just busted wide open here with Chris Carson. Now, Seattle's one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL, so it doesn't really surprise me that their rushing offense got going, but it is a little disappointing to see because, wow, Seattle has one of the best rushing offenses. The Buccaneers had one of the best rushing defenses, the best rushing defense by far. So, they broke in this game. It was not a good look. Also, Suh, Allen, and Golston didn't get a whole ton of pressure. Bo Allen did have that half sack, but we didn't see enough consistent pressure to really disrupt Russell Wilson that much from his pocket. So, it was pretty unfortunate to see. Hopefully, guys like Bo Allen, William Golston, and Ndamukong Suh can improve moving forward. And, shout out to Vita Vea. He's absolutely amazing. I'm going to start talking about some of the good from this game. And guys, I'll be honest, there was some good. A lot of it was from the offense. I think that the offense played pretty much perfect today. It was moving at all cylinders. I know we had the fumble, but I will say this, and this is the first player on my list, is Jameis Winston looked really good, okay? And I know people are going to bash him for the fumble, and I know people are going to say, oh, I don't even know if people are going to say that he didn't score enough. I don't think people are going to say that. I think that is a false narrative. I think that a lot of people understand that the secondary was the problem in today's game, and I think that, when you look at it on paper, when you look at it, just from an eye perspective, Jameis Winston played a hell of a game. He did absolutely great. He didn't throw an interception. He had the one fumble that technically wasn't even his fault, and he just continues to grow in this offense. Big bounce back game from Jameis Winston, especially the last couple of weeks versus the Titans and versus the Carolina Panthers. So it's good to see him continue to grow and improve in Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich's offense. It was just unfortunate that another game like this, a really, really good Jameis Winston game, was wasted on a bad defensive performance. Next guy I want to talk about is wide receiver Mike Evans. And Mike Evans, again, just did absolutely phenomenal. He continues to do amazing things. He had over 100 yards again in this game. He had a touchdown. He looked great. Mike Evans just continues to look amazing. One of the top wide receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. I know after the Saints game, people were saying, oh, Mike Evans is overrated. He's not even an elite wide receiver. Yeah, he is. Have you seen the last 3 games Mike Evans has put up? He has done absolutely amazing, and he's showing everybody again, he's one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. Top 5, in my opinion, without a debate. So Mike Evans continues to be amazing, and it's a wonderful thing to see. Next player I want to talk about is Ronald Jones. And Ronald Jones did some awesome things in today's game. He was actually pretty much the workhorse for the Buccaneers offense today in terms of the running back position. Peyton Barber did not get the ball at all things considered. He really did not get many chances today. It was pretty much almost exclusively Ronald Jones. I will say Peyton Barber, he got a few carries here and there, but Ronald Jones looked really good in this game. It really makes me wonder why they haven't been giving him the ball more, but Bruce Arians, he's said it since he came here. He really likes both Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones, so maybe next year when Peyton Barber hits free agency, he'll probably sign with another team. Maybe Ronald Jones will just be the 3-down back workhorse that we all wanted him to be this year. You know, it's unfortunate, but hey, I guess it's better than what the Cutter era did with, Rojo, so I'll take it, I guess. More players I want to highlight here. They didn't have a big game, but I will say they did very good in their roles. First is Chris Godwin. He didn't have the greatest numbers, but he was still overall solid. I've noticed that teams, have definitely been trying to work to, try and take both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out of games, and it just can't work. Whenever Chris Godwin can't get going, Mike Evans is getting going. Whenever Mike Evans, might be not getting things going as much, Chris Godwin is there. So I really love both these wide receivers. I want the Buccaneers to keep both of them for a very long time. I think both of them, deserve high dollar money. I know it's a lot to put towards 2 wide receivers, both guys potentially making $13 million or more. But, geez, it couldn't happen to two better guys, I guess I should say. These guys are 2 of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now. Especially, Godwin's come up. I think that he's playing like a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL so far this year. So keep it going, Chris Godwin. I love you, man. Keep up the great work. And then the second role player I want to mention is TJ Logan, who continues to look great as a punt and kick returner, especially a punt returner. I think that TJ Logan has been doing a phenomenal job when compared to what Bobo Wilson was doing earlier on in the year. Again, it makes me wonder why they didn't have Bobo Wilson returning punts TJ Logan returning punts earlier this year. I don't know if that's a decision by Keith Armstrong. I don't know if that's a decision by Bruce Arians. When they asked Bruce Arians about it a couple of weeks ago, he said that nobody had taken Bobo Wilson's job, and that's why he still had his job. But just from looking at what we've seen from TJ Logan so far this year, why didn't TJ Logan take his job? Was he not doing it in practice? Because he's doing it in games. He's having good returns in games. So that one makes me scratch my head a little bit. TJ Logan, huge upgrade from what we saw from Bobo Wilson, and I'm very happy we have him. He also played, I believe, maybe 1 or 2 snaps on offense today, which I love to see. He caught a slant pass for a couple of yards. I've been waiting for the Buccaneers to use TJ Logan on offense. I really think he can be a special, dynamic kind of player. So shout out to TJ Logan. He's a great returner, and I hope he gets more involved in the Buccaneers offense moving forward. Finally, last 2 specialty things I kind of want to mention is, first thing is the Perriman catch. Now, Perriman, I thought, had a pretty good game. He had very similar stats to Chris Godwin, and he is on this good list, so shout out to you, Brashad Perriman. But the big thing is the Perriman catch. And when I say Perriman catch, it was a catch that, Perriman, it was deflected. Jameis Winston threw it into the end zone. I believe it was towards Mike Evans. It was deflected in the air. Perriman caught it and scored the touchdown. It was one of the coolest plays I've seen from the Buccaneers this year, and it was awesome to see. I'll probably have it up here while I'm, going ahead and talking about it. But the Perriman catch was absolutely awesome. It was a wonderful thing to see. So shout out to you, Brashad Perriman. Happy to see you rebound. Happy to see you get back and going after that bad Tennessee Titans game. He had a couple of nice catches here or there. He didn't do anything super spectacular, minus that amazing catch that he had, but I still think he had a solid day overall. And then finally, the last player I want to mention is actually a player on the opposing team, Seattle's kicker. Jason Myers, I believe is his name. Thank you for keeping us in the game as long as you did. If he would have made all of his kicks, I think we would have been talking about a much different game here, but thanks to Jason Myers and thanks to all of Jason Myers' missed kicks, he kept the Buccaneers in this game as long as they were in it. So shout out to you, my friend. I don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. That all depends on what the Seattle Seahawks think about you. I highly recommend if you want to go check out Seattle Seahawks fans' opinions on Jason Myers, the Seattle kicker. Go watch some Seattle YouTubers. I don't know any personally, but you can go Google it. But yeah, shout out to Seattle's kicker. Thank you for keeping us in the game. But guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think about all of it down in the comment section below. What did you think about the bad list and what did you think about the good list? Who would you add or take away from both lists? Let me know what you think about all of it down in the comment section below. The secondary. Could we talk about the secondary real quick and, about certain things? I think that, certain guys had their good and their bad moments. Devin White had 2 forced fumbles, 12 tackles. That was awesome. But he also had a really bad pass interference call, and he did struggle in certain moments. That's why he wasn't on the good or the bad list. Same with guys like Vernon Hargreaves. Yes, while he did have his bad moments, I think he, had some pretty decent moments in coverage as well. He didn't look terrible. Same can be said for guys like Andrew Adams and Jordan Whitehead. So if I had a meh list, they would probably go on the meh list. But overall, those guys, they had some really, really good moments, but they also had some not so great moments as well. So if I had a meh list, Devin White would probably go on there. Yeah, actually, Devin White probably goes on the good list now that I'm thinking about it. So, you guys can correct me about that down in the comments section below. But Devin White, Vernon Hargreaves, Jordan Whitehead, Andrew Adams, shout out to those guys on defense. Not bad games from them, I guess. They just did pretty okay. So guys, again, let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. But until the next video or the next live stream, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.